Hey everyone, I've had a lot I've wanted to say about K-pop in the past few weeks, but I kept putting it off, and then I realized, hey, I have a channel for a reason and I should probably rant it all out so that people can either learn something or disagree and present an alternative perspective for me to learn from. So yeah, I have a lot to say and on a lot of really important issues, so a quick disclaimer. Also, these aren't in any particular order, but I do think they start off a lot tamer and then get more, well, you'll see. Like, subscribe, comment your perspective, and let's make it a polite and civil debate if you do disagree, and yeah, let's get into it. New Jeans have done Lolita concepts, Islet has not. There have been a lot of New Jeans stans who have recently seen calling Islet Lolita as a drag, and I am so confused. If you didn't know, I made this video explaining what Lolita concept means and its examples in K-pop, and long story short, Islet are not Lolita. Acting cute is not Lolita. Cute concepts, especially at their age, is the furthest thing from a Lolita concept. In fact, New Jeans fans need to check themselves because, if anything, New Jeans have done a Lolita concept with a certain song about a baked good. Speaking of Islet, K-pop stans need to figure out what they want, because on one hand y'all want HYBE to switch out Islet's concept because you think they fit dark sexy concepts better, but also, if they were to do that, you would say they were disgusting for exploiting minors by making them perform adult songs. Make up your mind. There is a huge difference between skinny shaming and speaking out about idols who get dangerously skinny and become fitspos. If you call out what someone's body looks like with the intention of calling them ugly, then yeah, you're skinny shaming. But going all out on people who accurately bring out the disgustingly crazy ideals for K-pop idols, especially female idols, is insane. I don't know what you think, but no, Wonyoung is not and should not be the ideal body. Nor should Rosé. No one is denying that they're gorgeous women, but their bodies, especially for their height, is concerning for them and their fans who normalize it. She has a fast metabolism. See, I wasn't aware you were her primary physicians. Also, you need to read up on that shit before spreading misinformation. By shushing everyone expressing concern and spreading these same comments about their bodies being perfect when they are absolutely unhealthy, perpetuates this idea that they need to keep being at this unnatural size to be considered perfect. Maybe calling out and raising concern on their body will let them know to take a break and for once put less pressure on their body. Female idols especially already face more than enough scrutiny for their bodies by their companies. They don't need you to do the same. Stop making them your fitspos. I mean, look at this video. Jennie is already skinny, and thinking that that's not an okay size to be is insane. It is not okay to expect them to diet and exert their bodies to the point that they lose their periods and faint on stage. It's funny how everyone just says Asians are just naturally skinny when idols have come forward multiple times to reveal that they ate ice for days to stay skinny, or skipped meals, or survived on sweet potatoes and protein shakes. Like, this is not normal. K-poppies who are mad at BTS for releasing music while they're enlisted in the military is so funny. Like, we're hating on people for working hard now? People hating on Jin for being a torchbearer for the Olympics are just proving that you would hate on anyone for anything. His walking is weird. You're picking on him because your faves never get picked. Trying to insert your faves, like comparing EXO's choreography to Jin walking, as if EXO's event wasn't one that BTS passed off on. The drag isn't dragging if your biggest booyah is something BTS declined. Also, this just proves how K-poppies never learn. This shit has been happening since the paper award debacle back in 2017, and guess what happened next? You all started trying to get your faves that very same award. And write this down, 4 years from now, you'll all start making lists and campaigns for your own faves to become torchbearers, and you still don't understand the significance of BTS doing these things first that'll then benefit your faves. Speaking of K-poppies and BTS, K-poppies' trends of creating lists and threads of stupid things and purposefully excluding BTS reeks of insecurity. You're telling me you made a list of the best K-pop rappers and put every single idol that doesn't write their songs, couldn't become a singer, so now memorizes lines and speaks fast to a beat, and called it a day? You talked about the firsts in K-pop and mysteriously BTS is nowhere to be seen? You're not slick. The insecurity is literally oozing off of the screen. I highly believe that people who stan trainees want to be YNs so bad. How are you standing idols who haven't even released music yet? I remember when TXT had stans when Big Hit just posted these little videos of them, but for all you could know, these idols could sound like drowning roosters and could be completely untalented. So what about them at that point are you a fan of? You all just want some kind of validation or get attention for being the first, and let me tell you, no one cares how long you've been a fan. Oh, you're an OG fan? Okay, let me now continue my life as literally the fucking same with that piece of information. Which brings me to people who stan Bumhin. I see him on my K-pop For You page sometimes, and I didn't want to speak about it, but you all are so weird to stan TikTokers because for real, the only song he put out was a dumpster fire, so what exactly are we a fan of? You all saw that he was a Korean trainee and a more accessible person adjacent to K-pop and went off with your Koreaboo behavior. Just because someone is a K-pop idol doesn't mean they should pursue acting. Be so for real, some of them can't even sing. And the reason that these idols get cast is because companies know that rabid stans will consume anything no matter how much of a dumpster fire it is because their faves are in it. Bringing up Soli and Jonghyun if someone dares to call out your faves is disgusting and guilt-tripping. Let them rest in peace, they are not an example for you to abuse. While nepotism might not be a huge thing in K-pop, pretty privilege and rich privilege definitely is, and that's why you'll see idols who were born and raised rich so frequently become idols despite not really having the talent to back it up. Flexing about your fave growing up rich is so weird, like what do you want me to do, compliment their parents? This is just another example of fans going overboard when they're standing someone and then just start vicariously living through them. You all have made Yoonjae your personal punching bag and it sucks because for real, what did she do? I understand the reservations people have with Yoonjin, but Laser of him as a whole has become everyone's personal garbage dump for you to just throw shit at, and it doesn't really make sense to me. Speaking of reservations against Yoonjin, while I do understand why people are upset with her and even unstanding her, what I don't get is how those same people are completely okay with their faves endorsing these very same brands. Which brings me to the hypocrisy of mostly SM stans. I'll just make it abundantly clear before we even get into this that I haven't touched one of those brands with a 10-foot pole in months, and I certainly lose respect for any K-pop companies that sell out to endorse them, whether it be a company my faves are in or not. If you know me, you know I'm the #1 K-pop company hater. I'll defend idols, but if you're a K-pop company, I'm really sorry, bestie. I really hope you never stand next to me in a school zone because I will throw you under that bus. Back to the point, I cannot digest how y'all continue to drag Yoonjin for drinking Starbucks, but now that all your faves are not just consuming, but advertising these same brands, you all go on these huge defensive campaigns. I understand that a lot of these idols have very little say in this, and Yoonjin has expressed this as well, but surely keep similar energy. My perspective is that I disengage from idols who do stuff like this until I see change and growth and accountability. You all go overboard with hate, and then ironically overboard with defending your faves, not understanding that you're doing the exact opposite to other idols. The difference in the way you treated Yoonjin and your faves is jarring, and it just proves that the issue was never really real to you, and you all fake social justice as a way to create this false illusion of your faves being unproblematic, and thus more worthy of being stanned, and it's disgusting. You know how I know this? Because some of you still think that all of this just started in 2023. And you're now sending protest trucks to K-pop companies instead of using that money to actually help out people. Like, I understand the amount of difference it makes when a celebrity supports a cause, but for some of these idols, they are under incredibly strict companies and they don't get to have a say. For BTS, they're literally working for the Korean government, and government workers as employees of the state are often subject to specific regulations and codes of conduct that limit their ability to publicly criticize or make statements going against their government's policies. And keeping in mind South Korea's stance on all of this, BTS have very little they can say while enlisted, so while I understand the intention in getting people with bigger platforms to speak up, being fixated on just that is getting us nowhere and is reeking of misplaced priorities. If half of you put that much effort into pursuing actually useful avenues, we could get a lot more done. Moreover, a lot of these idols' public actions are literally guarded by their companies, and you can't really know what these idols are doing in their personal lives to help. Probably more than you, who's just sitting online making musicians your personal politicians. You all approach this issue like it's just another scandal. Like, get outside of your fucking bubble and get outside of K-pop for once and help. Hold people in your government accountable. They are the ones that are gonna make actual big changes. Spamming Jin's comments like he has any power over this? Our world leaders are responsible. Huge corporations, universities, etc., who are funding the genocide are responsible for this, and they need to be held accountable. Go send your protest trucks to them. And it's high time we get over my idol did this, your idol didn't bullshit. Not becoming a fan of a group because of their fans is weird. You're allowed to listen to music and not engage in online fan culture. No one is forcing you to go on Twitter and look through Popbase's quote tweets. Blank's obsession with BTS's dick size and calling them homophobic slurs and quote girls needs to be examined, considering 90% of the people exposed saying this are gay and fully projecting. Is your obsession with BTS's dicks perhaps a way for you to tell us that you get all worked up at the sight of them? If so, join the club, and while you're here, stop masquerading around as feminists while using girl as an insult and dragging every female idol who dares to do anything. At this point, y'all have copyrighted breathing. Since we're here, being a girl group stan doesn't make you a feminist. You're quite literally scraping the bottom of the barrel to seem woke, especially considering that girl group stans pull each other's hair at every turn and insult each other's faves. Putting down other women to make your fave seem better isn't very feminist, you know? And that was all for this video. If you found any of my points worth listening to, then please share in the comments below. I admit I'm human and I can be wrong too, so if you think I should have added something more to any point, or if I should have considered an alternative perspective, I agree and I would love to learn. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one.